All right, all right, all right. Let's make sure we're good to go. And we are live. All right, so let's get into it, everybody. I hope everybody is good. This is our final live pop-up Q&A from the Monetize Your Book Challenge. Super excited to be here, guys. It was a phenomenal week. Today, it would make exactly a week from the time that we started. And so you all have had an opportunity to catch up on the replays. And we actually extended the replays until tomorrow to make sure that you had an opportunity to leverage this weekend, because I know how it is. I know how it can be, having the intention of showing up every day, things happening, things getting in the way. And then you're trying to, pop up or binge on the weekends. Like, I have participated in workshops such as this, and I was that person that couldn't attend the live sessions during the week, but on the weekends, I binged everything, right? And so I was that person. I know how it is. And that's why I wanted to give you guys an extended opportunity to catch up on the replays. And so I am looking here in the chat. Let me know if you have any questions at all. And I'm going to have to open this up for a moment. Let me know if you have any questions at all. Feel free to put your questions down in the comments. What's good, Davion? What's good, Shani? What's good, Twanika? And I actually left my phone upstairs. So let me see something if I can pull this up on my desktop. Thank you so much. Yeah, I got on my money green blazer today. I went to a sales conference with my sales coach. That's where I am all day. So today was day one, and got dressed to impress. I haven't worn this blazer in a minute, but I appreciate it. I have this same blazer in green and black and in like a winter white. I love it. I don't know if you can tell, but I have the same blazer in like 3 different colors. The black one, honestly, is the green pops. The black one is my favorite because it just looks clean. It's got like these bold gold buttons, and the white just gives a real crispy type of look. So Letitia says, thank you for doing that. Finishing days 4 and 5 now while caring for my 80-year-old mom. You're welcome. I mean, I know how it is with me. And like I was locked in with my kids over the weekend trying to catch up on my doctoral work. I had an assignment down to my last 2 classes while working on my prospectus. And so I was locked in all week. Last week I was on with you guys. And so I have been that person that binge watched every single video, including the VIPs, in 2 days. So listen, I totally get it. All right, I'm able to see your comments here. So I wanted to just come on and do any final reviews as well as answer questions. I'll be spending this week with, I shared with you guys that I'm in several masterminds. And so I'll be spending this week with one of my coaches at an in-person event. And just today was so profound because I'm very intentional about the rooms that I put myself in. I'm very intentional about what I go out to learn. And I'm very intentional about leveraging what I learn to actually grow. And I met so many people there that made a hefty investment for this program. And most of the people I talked to, especially the ones when we all joined around the same time, none of them went through the content. They're sitting in their loss, and they're like, just coming up with all these. I'm not saying coming up with all these excuses, but they had a lot of reasons as to why. And as to why they felt behind or why, because we had things that we were supposed to do before we came in there. And I thought back to my last 4 weeks, which was absolutely um like the pressure was on, right? Like I had a lot going on. My daughter's volleyball season, my son's tutorials, my son started basketball and soccer. School started at the top in mid-August for it started about 4 weeks ago. We've had a lot of different things. My cousin got married. It's just thing after thing after thing after thing after thing. And I listened to trainings while I was in the car. I listened to trainings while I was cooking dinner. I listened to trainings while I was walking on the treadmill to get through the content that I need to get through so I could be prepared for today. And so I think that a lot of times, we pray for things, we pray for elevation, we pray for growth. And then when we are given that opportunity, we find every reason not to do it. And here's the thing. I don't believe that there's a perfect time, right? Because I easily could have said, oh, I'm not going to do it because I'm in a doctoral program. Oh, I'm not going to do it because I'm this. Oh, I'm not going to do it because I'm that. Oh. And if I was to allow every single thing coming in my way to be a reason as to why I couldn't, I literally could come up with 1, 2, or 3 years worth of excuses, like why I shouldn't do something. Just like everybody else, folks saying, they invested $25,000 to be in this program, and they had came in March or April and haven't done anything in like almost 8 months. And the thing about it is, and I've learned, it's I've had clients that, well, I have been in programs where people paid a hefty investment and still did not show up. It still did not. I absolutely did get my homework done. I read 10 research articles. I annotated every single one of them. And I had my 2-page single space paper where I was talking about how all the articles that I selected contributed to my study and the gaps in the literature and that my study was going to fill. I went to bed at midnight. I got it in at 11:57 p.m. I was reading articles for 36 hours, but I got it in. I got it in. Hey, we do what we need to do. That's why I'm tired now. So after this, I'm going straight to bed. But what I'm saying that to say, if we allow ourselves to come up with reasons why we can't or why we shouldn't, you literally can come up with a reason that is going to that could last another year or two, right? That'll cause another year or two delay. And my thing is, do you know how much can happen in a year or two? Do you? If I was to tell you guys, I'm definitely going to talk to the people, to our members in the publishing paid university about it. But if I was to like really get super transparent about, I'll say this. I'll say last month, well, I got into that program because there were some things that I needed to fix. And I went all in on the content because my thing is, whenever I make an investment, I make it my business to get a return. And I didn't drag my feet. And I said, I need to implement this. It doesn't have to be perfect, but even if I can implement the first 2 parts, that will be better, right? And I did that, and I shared this with you guys. And literally in 4 weeks, I doubled my investment. In 4 weeks. In 4 weeks. You know what I'm saying? And if I would have said, hey, I'm going to wait. Hey, I got all this going on, which I very well could have. And I was very tempted to. But that just would have stalled progress. It would have stalled realization. It would have stalled results. And the best thing about it is that I can take some of the advanced strategies that I'm learning and that I'm testing and implementing and share them with my clients, right? And so I want you to think about, because it was I put it up on Instagram today, and there was a quote by Jim Rohn. My bad. There's a quote by Jim Rohn that said something to the degree of, your business will only grow to the extent that you do. Your business will only grow to the extent that you do. So I want to ask you, like, what are you doing? Like, you guys took the challenge. So this is something that you're doing to grow your business. But then now there's other work that you have to do, right? There's other work that you have to do. And at the core of that work is undeniable belief in yourself and believing that you are worth it, believing that you can, believing that when you put in the studying and you put in the work and you execute the results, you will get a return. Okay? Though that homework comes, or those next steps come in the form of you doing the homework. But that's one part, right? It comes in the form of you staying connected. It comes in the form of you maybe even taking that next step to invest in yourself and in your learning, because you are where you are based off of what you know up until this point. And so when you want to break through your next ceiling, when you want to break through your next wall, then there's going to have to be a catalyst, and there's going to have to be something different to get you through. One thing that I know is that when we meet together every single day, it's absolutely amazing, right? But what happens is that tomorrow we don't meet. Wednesday we don't meet. Thursday we don't meet. Friday we don't meet. Next week we don't meet. And you know what happens? Life starts happening. And the faith and the belief that you did have starts waning away. And the doubts that you were able to eliminate starts creeping back in. Okay? I want you, whatever that energy is that you tapped into during this challenge, you've got to maintain that. Whatever that higher level of belief is, whether you choose to work with me or not, whatever that higher level of belief is, you've got to find a way to keep your mind up level and your mind and your eyes stayed on that. And this is the truth, because it's very easy to progress when you're in support and when you're in community. And when you're with other people of like minds who are working towards the same things, because you can bounce that. Not only does everyone's energy bounce off of one another, right? But the support is there to help carry you through those moments when you start doubting. But when you're by yourself and you're feeling like you're on a one man's island or a one woman's island and you're all in your head with your thoughts, that alone causes a lot of people to regress and literally to stifle their growth. And I don't want that for you. So whether it's with me or whether it's with someone else, you need to find, I want you to make sure that you find a community to lock into. You've got to find it. That is one thing that I live by. One of the first things that I did when I was growing my business back in 2017 was that I got locked into a community of other people who was doing the same things that I wanted to do. And I firmly believe that every coach should have a coach. And I've always kept a coach. I've got friends of mine, they don't, you know what I'm saying? They'll have a coach and they'll stop. And you know what? To be honest with you, their businesses be up and down. It always is. And that's why I want today and this week, I made the sacrifice to clear my calendar and to go connect with one of my coaches and a community in which I'm a minority, a community in which most of the people don't look like me. Right? But I'm there because it's something that I'm trying to learn. It's something that I'm trying to, that I'm elevating, that I'm improving on. And I understand the value of community. And most of the people that I met today did something totally different. I met people in the photography industry. that have 7-figure businesses. I was just like, listen, most photographers I know is charging low ticket. How did you start charging a premium for photography and scale it to 7 figures? Like, I'm learning how other businesses are actually growing their businesses in industries that I don't know about. And so one of the photographers, well, this young lady, she had a photographer business. She had traveled out here from California. And she's like, all she does is senior photos. That's all. I said, like the 12th grade senior photos. She said, that's all I do. I do senior photos. And she and they go out on the beach in front of the waves, all kind of stuff. So I said, well, how did you do that? So she told me about going back to day 2 when we talked about packaging. She created she created something for her packages that made it a premium. And when someone comes to do business with her, it's a mandatory part of her packages. Like, she sells albums. So she sells these photo albums in with every single package. And so instead of charging $300, now she's charging $4,000 for a shoot. Another lady I was sitting next to, her husband they do oil and gas contracts. I would have never made these connections had I not gone or had I not been in the room. And so, of course, all of them are potential clients for me because I'm like, okay, I can help you write a book about this. I can help you write a book for other photography business owners on how to build a 7-figure photography business. I can help you and your husband write a book about how you guys are married and in business together in the oil industry. Oil. She does the sales for the company. Why am I saying that? Because there's power in the room, and there's power in networking, and there's power in the room. And there are some levels you can get to by yourself, but there are other levels that you're going to get to. There's some levels that you can get to by yourself, and then there are some levels that you can get to by yourself. Guys, I gotta go get my nails done. Like, my nails look like a hot mess after this weekend. But I'm going to get them done before I go tomorrow. But there are some levels that you can get to by yourself, but when you're trying to go to a certain level, like, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Like, you absolutely need other people, because there are some levels that you can only get to and get through with connection and through networking and with other people. And so I made it my business to work the room tomorrow. I took copies of my book with me. Where I'm going to connect with certain people and give them a copy of my book, because I'm there to learn, but I'm also there to network. And I want you guys to take this with you as you are building out your businesses. And so some of you all are like, well, I have questions. I'm interested in joining the Coaching Institute. You can literally sell 50 books a month and cover you can literally sell 50 books a month and literally cover your investment for the Coaching Institute. But it's about learning those sales skills. It's about building up that confidence. It's about building up that courage within yourself to do the thing. Like, if you have a book, there's no reason why you shouldn't be selling it. No reason at all. There's no reason why you shouldn't be selling it. Are you going to put yourself in position, and are you going to get connected in the proper communities to do the thing? And that's my question to you. And that was just today, Twanika. We were only there for like 3 hours a day. That's who I met today. Oh, and I met another one who was a luxury real estate agent. We didn't really get a chance to talk much. I'm going to talk to her more tomorrow. Oh, I met another lady I was sitting next to. Let me tell y'all, she work a 9 to 5. She work a 9 to 5. And so you're welcome, Twanika. She work a 9 to 5. So I was like, how are you here? So because she was like, I've gone as high as I can go in my position. And the next position, in order for me to get a promotion, is going to require me to learn sales. She had literally made an investment in herself so that she could get a promotion, so she could develop a skill set, so she could get a promotion on her job. I thought that was super dope, because a lot of times people won't make investments unless their job is paying for it. But she's looking at it as an investment to learn a skill set so that she can get a promotion on her job. Because if she gets this promotion, the promotion that she gets can be more than the investment in itself. And so I think that that really spoke to me, because she probably was the first person I have ever met that was working a corporate job that had invested in some type of independent business coaching so they could get a promotion and get paid more. And oftentimes people only look at the cost of something without looking at the ROI of it and what they're actually going to be able to do from developing the skill set. They look at it as a liability. Oh, what is this going to cost me? Instead of looking at this as an investment to learn a skill set and develop a skill set so that they can actually bring more money into their own house. And so it's really all about perspective, and it's all about your worldview, and it's all about how you look at things. And my dad used to tell me when I was coming up, your perception is reality. And he used to always say that. And I didn't know what he meant, but I didn't understand it. But as an adult, I understand it. And what he meant is that your perception of what's going on is going to create the reality in which you live. And so if you're always looking at something as a negative, or if you're always looking at something with a lack mindset, then that's what you're going to create in your life, versus looking at something from a perspective of growth. And that's what happened with me. I remember the very first time that I told you guys when I first started this, I was in the coaching community. Let me plug my laptop up. It's about to go dead. All right. So when I first started this process and started growing my business, I had joined a membership. It was like $49 a month. And the guy that ran the membership had been in my DMs. And we had kind of been going back and forth. I can't tell you how hesitant I was to pay $49 a month. I look back at it and laugh now, because every single program I'm in this year costs a minimum of $25,000. Like one was $35, one was $30, and the other one was $25. One was $12, and then of course I'm working on my doctorate. So you do the math. I believe that you should invest at least 10% of what your goal is. So going back to what I was talking about, I was terrified of spending $49 a month. Terrified. I can't tell you why. It was something that I had never done before. That was why. And it was unfamiliar to me. It was foreign to me. Now, I'll go to Chick-fil-A and bust down $49 easily. I'll go to Chipotle and bust down $49 easily. I'll go to the nail shop every month and bust down $150 easily. But here I was questioning myself and questioning the whole, should I join this to get into a group about learning how to speak and, build my brand. And when I did, let me tell y'all, it was probably the best thing that I've ever done. Y'all, my eyelash all crooked and everything. Y'all ain't tell me I'm up here looking busted tonight. That's what a long day will do for you. but um but it was the best thing that I'd ever done, because I learned and I developed skill sets that I didn't have previously, because I developed relationships with people that I'm still friends with literally to this day, and it really helped me to build my confidence and grow my brand and stretch myself and do some of the things that I had never done before. And so going back to that quote that I saw earlier, your business can only grow to the extent that you do. Your business can only grow to the extent that you do. How are you growing? How are you committed to growing? How are you elevating your life? How are you elevating your business? How are you elevating your health? How are you elevating your fitness? What does that look like? And is the growth plan that you have for yourself in alignment with the goals that you say that you want to accomplish by the end of this year? And that's really what it boils down to. Are the two in alignment? When you say that you want to do certain things, are the goals that you set for yourself in alignment with the actions that you're taking and in the ways that you are, pouring into yourself? And if it's not, then at that point, you got to ask yourself, do you really want the thing that you say that you want? Or are you being delusional? Because when we want something, we go after it. When we want something, we go get it. When we want something, we figure out ways to make it happen, and we make it happen. And when we don't, we play games. We're not truthful. We ghost other people. We ghost ourselves. And we don't show up. So I want you to commit to yourself. And this ain't about me. This is about you. I want you to commit to yourself that you're going to do whatever it takes. And that your mission and your message is important enough for you to fully commit to it. All right. Now, let's get into some homework. I see a couple of homework. We're just going to let me see, pop in for home day 2. I see a couple of assignments that was posted over the past few days. Session 2 homework was to draft 3 aligned offers in your book to offer suite. So Teresa Shern says sell book and comprehension guides as a bundle. I guess that's 1. 2, it says volunteer to read book during literacy night and join parents group on social. Okay, well, that's not a package, Teresa. So the assignment was to draft 3 aligned offers. So what you have for number 2 is not an offer. An offer is something that we're going to sell. Number 3, reach out to surrounding libraries. Again, that's not an offer. An offer is something that you're going to sell. And number 4, to create more posts and be more consistent. That's not an offer. So right now, your only offer is your book. Well, your offer is your book and then your comprehension guides. Well, what's next? Or do you have a speaking topic? Do you have a speaking topic? Like, what's next? What does that look like? Spivey says, wish I could join the mastermind, but I'm definitely committing to myself that I'll do what it takes. So the mastermind has an income requirement. Spivey, I really think that you would do well in the coaching institute so that you can really focus on monetizing. The coaching institute is a great way for you to get started. It's a great place for you to actually come in and learn how to sell as well and build a sales muscle, as well as build out your course, build out a coaching offer if that's something that you want to do. build out workshops, and not just build out workshops, but learn how to facilitate them in a way that generates profit and build out your business model. And then I'm adding some amazing things to the Coaching Institute. It's a great way for you to get started. And one of the things I like about the Coaching Institute too is that because of the price point, we do offer financing, and you can join for as low as $168 per month through one of our financing partners. And $168 per month really can be covered by your book sales. So my goal is for you guys to come in and actually start selling your books to cover the cost of your enrollment. And then that way you have some income coming in while you are actually building out your business infrastructure and growing that. Okay. That's honestly where I think you should start, because you're already writing. You already are publishing. So the next best step for you is monetization, so that you can build up to, consistent tens of thousands of dollars per month. And due to the price point, I think that'll be the best option for you, because I know that you'll execute too. You just need the strategies on what to do and how to do it. All right. Hope says entry level is book and workbook bundle. Then mid-tier is healing circles and group programs. And high ticket is speaking engagements with bulk book orders factor in. Trainer, therapist, professional trainer. Okay, and then we have some other things. So I'm not sure if all of those are your high ticket. Trainer, therapist, professional training, and academic partnerships. Because you have a lot of them here. I just like one per category. All right. All right. I think that was it for day 2. I don't see any new ones. All right. I don't see any new ones for day 2. Let's look at session 1. I'll do 2 from session 1. Teresa Shern says, my book helps teachers develop student comprehension while adding diversity to the classroom library. All right. So I need clarity here, because if you're saying my book helps teachers develop student comprehension, are you referring to reading teachers? Are you referring to math? Because you're saying teachers and then reading comprehension or student comprehension. I just don't know what kind of comprehension you're talking about, or what kind of teachers you're talking about, which subjects, or whether this is just teachers in general. And then while adding diversity to the classroom library, that part is understandable. It's just the first part that needs some clarity. Letitia says, my book provides school leaders with strategic, cost-effective strategies. All right, strategic and then cost-effective strategies is like using strategic multiple times. So you don't want to say strategic, cost-effective strategies, because a strategy is strategic. You follow me? So you want to find a different word to say the same thing. To redesign their buildings and facilities so they can improve school culture and student learning outcomes. I love the end. They're so clear about what you're doing and what the focus is. That's extremely clear now. All right. Great job, everyone. Great job. All right. Let's look at session 3. What platform, or what are your glows and what are your grows? Okay, Teresa, you put in another set of steps of things that you were going to do, but this assignment said to conduct an audit and determine your glows and grows. What are the good things that you have going on? And then what are the things that you're doing that's already strong? And what are your areas of improvement? All right, Hope says, Glow, I have the basic tech skills and equipment to produce a YouTube podcast. Grow says, carve out time to batch create content. Good. I like that you're being really honest with yourself about your capacity and what's really truly needed for you to grow. And so your 90-day commitment is that over the next 6 weeks, starting on Saturday, you're going to post daily until the launch date of the 25th. Love that, love that, love that. All right. As we started getting later in the week, y'all's homework submissions started getting thinner and thinner. So I don't know if it was because of the assignments and you all feeling because of the how in depth the assignments were. Well, I didn't feel like they were in depth, but apparently they were in, a little bit more in depth than I thought they were. Or whether it was because of time and their capacity. So I already went over Twanika's on the live. And then Hope. All right, let's look over Hope's. Your offer tiers. Entry level, got your book, paperback and workbook. Mid tiers, healing circles and group programs. All right, so you said healing circles and group programs, but then you have virtual workshops and in-person half-day workshops listed here. So I guess I'm a little bit confused because I'm looking for the healing circles and group programs and not the virtual or half-day in-person workshops because that wasn't listed there. So I think for number 2, you probably want, if you're going to focus on workshops like that, then workshops should be one of your income drivers. In terms of continuing education for therapists, is that $125 or $215 per person? Full day, 6 hours at $400 per person? Because I would hope that's not a flat fee. Healing circles, any type of 6 to 8 week coaching program where you're showing up for 90 minutes a day. Let me tell y'all something, 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, you have to determine whether it's going to be 6 weeks, 7 weeks, or 8 weeks when you're creating an offer. You can't say 6 weeks, 6 to 8. It's either going to be 6 weeks or it's going to be 8 weeks. You got to choose one. And I think that this was probably one of the things that I saw the most about you all's offers. When it comes to business, you're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to choose, guys. You got to choose. You can't keep doing these ranges because these continuous ranges indicates that you're indecisive about that. So in order to achieve success, you're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to decide what it's going to be. Whether it's going to be 6 weeks, whether it's going to be 8 weeks, and then you're talking about 90 minutes per session. Now, 90 minutes is just the amount of time that you are actually going to be doing actually facilitating. That's not including your prep time. That's not including your preparation time, your and all of that, your research. So if you do 390, okay, so here we go again, 397 to 497. Hope, what's that going to be? Is it going to be 397 or is it going to be 497? Because that's only $100 difference. So which one is it going to be? We can't just keep doing these ranges for everything. Choose one. For a premium tier, you got $597 and $697. That's $100 difference. Choose one and keep it moving. But for most of your offers here, you got these price ranges and they're only like $100 difference. So that indicates that you're undecided about the price. So it goes back to the day that I was telling you guys about pricing, which was day 4. Choose the price that you're comfortable with. Choose the price that you can speak comfortably to. Sell 3 at that price and then increase. Stop doing these ranges. Start where you're comfortable. Get 3 at that price and then go up. That's it. Stop doing all these ranges. And then 6 to 8 weeks at 90 minutes a session, you talking about like $50 per session at the rate you charging. Why are we showing up for $50 a session for 90 minutes when you are delivering your IP? 6 weeks, 8 weeks. If anything, they need to be brought down to 4 weeks at that price point. And even then, that price is questionable because if you choose $397, that's less than $100 per session. Y'all follow me? And that's not even considering the time that it's going to take you to prepare. Research, materials, actually preparation. Like, y'all got to count all of that into your pricing. High ticket speaking engagement with bulk book orders factoring in 1.5 to 5K per talk, professional training 2.5K to 7K per contract, academic partnerships, bulk book orders, adjunct lectures, curriculum licensing 25K. Hey, when you're charging 25K, you got to be able to provide 50K of value. Okay. And so that's going to require your confidence and your competence, and for you to like really stand on what you're doing. All right, Shani, I see yours. You just submitted yours. Scripture card pack, guided journals. 19 to 29, great order bump. Mid-ticket group support. From brokenness to beloved, 8-week small group. Weekly 60 to 75-minute sessions. All right, founders $597, first 10, standard $997. All right. Payment plan 3 times. All right, so here's the thing about payment plans. If your program is 8 weeks, and if you have a 3-part payment plan, then that means that they're going to be on you a payment after your 8-week cohort is over. At which point, if they've already gotten the information, they may very well choose to just keep it moving. So you don't really want, just it's the best practice for your payments not to exceed the length of time that you're, going to be on, unless you've done business with this person before and there's a level of trust and respect there. High ticket is personalized. You don't have anything for high ticket. You don't have anything for speaking workshops either. So we don't want to do that for free. Even if you're speaking for free, you still need a way to monetize. Okay. And then keynote workshop for women's ministry or widow care. All right. All right. Sounds good so far. All right. Well, that's it for tonight, guys, in terms of the work reviews and feedback. The doors close to our programs tomorrow. I know that some of you all are interested in coming into the mastermind, but the mastermind does have an income requirement. And so we'll have to talk one-on-one about that. But for many of you, it's either going to be the Published and Paid Academy, where you can write, self-publish, market, and launch your book, or the Coaching Institute. Okay. Which is where you can learn how to start and grow your income through courses, coaching, workshops. And I'm actually going to I'm going to end up adding in 2 segments on speaking, like how to book yourself for free speaking engagements and monetize that. I'm going to be adding in a section on a course on how to start and monetize a service-based business. And I'm also going to be adding in a section on how to sell 1,000 books in a year and monetize. The price of the Coaching Institute will be going up, okay, because of everything that I'm putting in there. So if you want to get in and you want to get in at the current investment rate and still get some semblance of support through the community and through the asynchronous coaching, I advise you to come in. All right, Spivey, I know. Okay, so I would suggest that you come into the Coaching Institute so that you can actually start monetizing. You know what I'm saying? Because you already have items that you can be monetizing. You just got to learn how to do that. And once you're in, I would give you a challenge, because if we're really looking at the investment for the academy, we're looking at investment for the academy. Really, at the end of the day, if you were just to straight up go off a book sale, there's 325 books. So you sell 325 books, you generated income for the academy. So how can we take that and put that on hyper speed, which is what you'd be learning in the Coaching Institute? Okay. I was just talking to somebody tonight in the DM, and they were like, they was just writing books for the love of the craft. And I said, I got a question. It's a real question. I said, if you were writing books for the love of the craft just because of the craft of writing, how come you went so far as to publish them if you're not really concerned about monetizing? How come you just didn't stick to writing your stuff in journals and in docs that nobody would ever read if you did it for the love of writing? And I think that I'm saying it to say, I think that sometimes we can be delusional and lie to ourselves and not be truthful about what it truly is that we want, because that desire and what it's going to take to achieve that desire feels intimidating. But the truth of the matter is that it's not really intimidating. It's just that it's unfamiliar. And in order to conquer unfamiliarity, you're going to have to do something different that you haven't done. You're going to have to tap into the unfamiliar in order to conquer the unfamiliar. You can't conquer the unfamiliar if you try to approach the unfamiliar the same way that you've approached everything else for the last 3 years in your life and business. It's just not going to work. And you definitely can't approach the unfamiliar by sitting down and quote unquote waiting for until a better time. Because by the time you come around, stuff been changed. All right. I hope that our final work review was helpful, guys. It has been a pleasure connecting with everyone here. It absolutely has. You all have been phenomenal. You're so welcome, Shani. Can you guys still hear me? It looks like my screen may have frozen. And I don't know if it's me or I don't know if it's... Okay. Nah, I think y'all are good. Y'all can still see me and hear me. All right. I'm trying to get to the comments. There we go. All right, guys. It's been a pleasure. You are so welcome, Spivey. I'll be up for a little while longer if you want to hit me on Instagram. You're so welcome, Shani. All right. So, guys, the replays expire tomorrow. So if you're still watching the replays, go ahead and make sure you get those in. And the doors to the university close tomorrow. So if you're still on the fence or you need to talk it through, send me a message on Instagram. You can also send me a message here on Facebook. And we can talk through it if we haven't yet already. And for those of you all who submitted applications, but then you act like you can't respond when I reach out to you, that's not cool. And I'm gonna my coach would be like, don't say that. I'm gonna say that's not cool because it's poor leadership. And when we're operating in leadership, and if we say that we believe, in God, in who God has created us to be, and if we put ourselves out here to be leaders in our careers and in our lives, then that means that when it comes to your business and comes to personal matters, there has to be a level of maturity to have conversations. Even if the conversation is, hey, this is what's on my mind. This is what I'm considering. You know what I'm saying? You have to act the way with people that you want people to act with you, because all the energy that you put out is going to come back to you. I'm just saying we have to step up our game And we got to step up how we're operating and going through life and executing. And I don't take it personally at all. I'm just saying this for you, because if you are ghosting or not responsive or leaving people on read and stuff like that, it's just an indicator as to how you go through life. And it shows, you know, a pattern of avoidance. And it lets me know that you got some things that are out of order that could be in order if you address them appropriately. There are ways that you can address, things and people and not be offensive, but stand in your truth and stand in your honesty. Okay? All right? So I want to encourage you all to speak up. Speak up for yourself. With everybody. With everybody. Okay? You're so welcome, Davion. Letitia, I will see you in a couple of weeks, ma'am, at Seven Figure Educator. We're going to have a great time. All right? You guys have a good evening. And we'll keep the group open until tomorrow. The replays will be open until tomorrow. And I'll see you guys later. I'm probably going to end up deleting this tomorrow. All right? I'll see you guys soon. You guys have a great rest of your day.